And welcome to the Oklahoman's Election 2014 coverage. Hi, I'm Dave Morris. Thanks for joining us tonight on NewsOK.com and throughout tonight. We will be providing live updates at the top of the hour with the latest results and analysis of today's voting across Oklahoma. And voting was steady Tuesday morning despite the rain. As you know, more than 2 million Oklahomans are registered to vote, and election officials expected about 43 to 45% of those registered to vote to actually vote and then pick up an I voted sticker. Oklahoma is among more than 30 states across the nation where the race for governor is at stake tonight. And joining me with a preview of the Oklahoman's coverage throughout tonight is Nick Trougakos, local editor with the Oklahoman. And thanks so much for your time tonight.
Yeah.
And that marquee race here in Oklahoma is the governor's race.
That's exactly right. It's definitely going to top the ballot. You have our incumbent Republican governor, Mary Fallin. An interesting kind of sidebar to this is that election board officials say in a midterm election with an incumbent governor, you typically see that fact alone drive voter turnout down a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if the opponent, Democrat State Rep Joe Dorman, could maybe get some grassroots support and get some more people out to the polls to try to see if he can unseat Fallin from her second term.
You're right. It has turned into an interesting race as well.
Yeah. They've traded a lot of barbs. If you've been watching your TV, you can't help but see the advertisements they've thrown back and forth at one another. And so, polls close at 7 o'clock tonight, and here shortly we should have our answer on who's going to prevail there.
And you mentioned the barbs and the warfare between Dorman and Fallin. A lot of that has been on education, and perhaps that's why we're talking about one of the other premier races tonight, state school superintendent.
If governor is 1A, then state superintendent may be the 1B race in terms of marquee value in the state. We're going to have a new superintendent. The Republican challenger, Joy Hoffmeister, of course, unseated incumbent Jana Barisi in the June primary. She's going up against Democratic challenger John Cox. Again, a tense campaign season, leading up to this election. And that's a good, when you look at the way that we're going to have a new candidate there take that seat, that brings me to a couple other races where we're going to have a new person take the seat. Of course, Tom Coburn's retirement created an opening in the U.S. Senate. We're looking at James Lankford to fill that seat. Early reports are that he may walk over in that race. And of course, Lankford had been in his U.S. House seat in the 5th District, looking at Steve Russell going up against Al McCaffrey to try to take that seat.
We could see a couple races called early tonight, and we expect to be here throughout the night on some of the other races, school superintendent and the governor's race. And one more race we'll mention, incumbent Republican Todd Lamb, a former Secret Service man. He's facing Democratic challenger and restaurateur Kathy Cummings. That's the race for lieutenant governor.
That's right, and that's a race that's gone a little bit under the radar. Another race like that is the labor commissioner race. Mark Costello is the incumbent Republican there. He's expected to possibly claim a sound victory in that race. And those are just a couple of the races we're covering tonight. We have numerous reporters in the newsroom out at the watch parties for the Republicans and the Democrats, including over in Muskogee at the barbecue joint for John Cox's watch party. We're looking at the state house and state senate. There's state questions on the ballot, judicial races, judicial retention races, and then just a whole slew of county races and county questions that we're looking at across the state.
He's Nick Trougakos. I've stolen him from the Oklahoman's newsroom. He'll be joining us tonight at the top of every hour for live updates. Nick, thanks for your time. I appreciate that.
Sure.
As he mentioned, we have videographers, photographers, and reporters at the watch parties, including the Republican watch party that's over at the Tower Hotel on Northwest Expressway, and the Democrats watch party at the Cox Center. Tonight, you can expect acceptance and concession speeches later tonight on NewsOK.com, and that's where you can also find the latest election returns. NewsOK will have the latest from the State Election Board. Our Tiffany Gibson and Matt Carney are updating NewsOK with the latest election news, including from social media, where you can follow along. The hashtag is OKVote14. Once again, our newsroom at the Oklahoman, hard at work, covering every angle of tonight's races. We'll be back at 8 with another live update. Thanks for joining us.